All right, I planned on a completely different video today. In fact, I already recorded it, posted it, and then figured out that the audio is bad, which is really annoying because it was an hour and a half video. It was a long video. It was a response to another video having to deal with the Lego Sonic theme, Lego Mario theme. Today's video is going to be focused on Bionicle stuff, so that's good at least. But I did go ahead and re-record a video for that. I plan on posting it maybe tomorrow. I'm just tired of it today. I was very discouraged. It took a long time. Anyway, with that said, though, I want to show you something that you may have never noticed in your Bionicle sets, specifically with your Toa Mata sets. So I talked about in a recent video how there are several pieces from Lego that actually have more than one mold. The Borak torsos being an obvious example of that, or maybe obvious is the wrong word, but an example of that. But a lot of the Toa Mata masks also have two different molds, which is crazy to think about at first, but it is true. If you have the Liwa Mata mask and the Kangu Matoran mask from the McDonald's set, these are not the same. They're very, very similar. In fact, they're nearly identical, but they're not the same. The reason is that some of these original masks had some flaws that Lego didn't initially see, and so they rectified it later. They revised these molds. I don't know if they did so with new molds or if they went through some process to make the old molds work again. I think in some cases it was new molds because numbers and things move around on the inside of them. This is not going to appear very well on video, so I'm going to try and show it. And I'm just going to use a knife here to point because it's got a fine edge on it that I can point with easily. But if you look right underneath the eye here, right inside of this hole, just before it, on the underside of the mouth area, beak area, there's a missing bit of plastic there. It's a whole layer of plastic. And it's a good, I mean, it's noticeable. It's, I don't know, maybe a centimeter long. It's fairly narrow, but it is there. And it's a little bothering. It's not something you're really going to notice if you're not looking for it. But this is later changed in the Kangu mask. And in fact, they went a step further with this mask. Because if you look at the underside of the nose, and I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera here, but the texture of this is different. You'll see it really doesn't reflect the light very well. Whereas this one does. As you can see, the underside of that beak reflects light very well. That's because this was given a matte texture underneath there. I don't know if that was, again, to rectify the issue, to what that was for, honestly. Third, well, it's not super noticeable either. On the original Miru, there are some little lines in the matte texture on the forehead that you can see that are handled a little bit better on the Kangu mask as well. So, really interesting to see this stuff, but it's not the only mask to actually get changes. And in fact, I have a mask box over here with a handful of different pieces as well. And yep, there's one. So I just figured I'd go ahead and show you some of those and ruin these masks for you. So have fun. On the Komau mask, specifically newer Komau masks. So this is actually worse in the second version of the mask. On the nose, pretty much where that eye line meets the nose, but in just a little bit, there's a small little bump that is there, and there's a little divot right in the center of it. It's so tiny. It's like, honestly, probably less than a millimeter, so it's very easy to overlook, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. And yeah, it's on the actual flat nose itself, but it's pretty much in line with that, I guess that'd be the right eye or the left eye, depending on which way you're looking at it. Left eye if you're looking straight at it. Another mask, let's ruin some more, is the Rao. I don't know specifically when this was changed, but on the original Rao, there is a mold line all the way across the top here. I say original. Again, this was changed at some point while the masks were still being recolored, so I don't know exactly when. On some of them, though, yeah, you'll find a line. Nokama's mask specifically has a lot of them, but I don't think all Nokama Turaga masks have them. But yeah, just a mold line there. That is later fixed, thankfully, so there's no more mold line in the later versions of that mask, so like Akmu's mask won't have it. Another mask to ruin, I'm just so happy. No, I'm kidding, but is the Kakama. This one's also pretty minor, and you'll see this on the inside of the mask most notably. Again, very hard to see. It is going to be, in this case, the left eye if you're looking at it from that direction, the right eye if you're looking at it head on. And in this case here, my computer's being buggy. It's being weird on me. All right. There is a little copyright symbol where that eye corner is. It gets cut off. And so Lego ended up moving it to a different location on the top of the mask in the same mold. Well, later on, they would go ahead and move it to the lower corner beside the actual mouth attachment. And so the old symbol that was underneath the eye there is no longer there. The main reason for this is because it can interfere with the corner where the eye meets this hard edge, and it can leave a little chip out of the mask, basically. It's still notable on here. You will see little areas where the plastic kind of dips in, but it's equal now on both sides rather than it just being on one side. So really interesting stuff. There are a lot more, but I'm not going to go over all of them today. Most of the other changes are only on the inside of the mask, usually having to deal with like where numbers are placed. But it's definitely interesting at the very least. It seems like these changes were all made before the silver and gold masks of 2002. So all of these masks, I believe, are the second variation after these changes have taken place. All of the McDonald's masks, as far as I can tell, also are the second variation as well. That said, there are a handful of McDonald's Picaris that also have an issue, and I know I have one, but I don't know that I have it in here. I do have it in here. Directly below the numbers on the inside, there's a little extra bit of plastic that sticks out, and I believe it's specifically with the mold 1-02. There's no dash there. There's a space, but you get the point, right? And that one, yeah, has a little bit of plastic there. I don't know if it's on all of them. I'm sure that they probably fixed it at some point. And maybe some regular Picaris have this as well. I just don't have any regular ones that have the 102. Only the McDonald's ones, or only the purple ones, I guess. So really interesting stuff. But now that I have sufficiently ruined all of your masks for you, give them to me, send them to me. I'll put my PO box in. I'm just kidding. No, honestly, I just think it's something interesting. And honestly, it gives me a lot of respect for Lego and for their ability to catch these things early. Perhaps not always the first time. There are issues with all of these masks, all of the mahikis on the side of the mouth. I said I was done here, but I'm just being awful. I feel like I'm torturing people. But yeah, on the side of the mask that doesn't have the wire, literally right up against the squared off mouth shape, there's pitting. There's just little dots, little holes where plastic didn't get in, or where the inside of the mold wasn't polished or whatever, finished properly. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for this one. I guess I'll show this off last. This is my resin cast from yesterday. It's doing pretty well. I got to let it firm up a bit more before I can cut out the holes and stuff, the flashing. But it looks good. I'm really happy with it. So that is pretty much it for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. At some point, I'm going to turn this video, or the concept of it at least, into a short. That's in the future when I've got more cameras available. Of course, you can always join the conversation if I didn't say that already in the comments, or check out Discord, Instagram, and Patreon if you want to support the channel. Get some perks in the description below. And yeah, just make sure you subscribe. Take care.